Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is The Big Question, the show that gives you too much information about why your tiny little life of randomness is insignificant in the grand plan of this universe, which has already been mapped out by rainbow space gods.
You are not special. You are not a beautiful or unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else.
My name is MT, and I'm here today with my big head gang brother, Tommy Bechtold. What's going on, Tommy?
Yo, my god is an awesome rainbow space god. May he reign with the colors of the rainbow.
Exactly. Arishem is my judge. He will judge my life at the end.
Judy is my judge.
Pretty fit, stupid, outrageous, baloney, liar, baby, dumb, wise guys. Are you kidding me?
Judy is my judge. Hey,
Judy with that booty.
Yo,
Woo,
Judy got that booty. Have you seen?
Yes.
You seen the pictures of her behind the desk?
That's a 3-tiered wedding cake, and I like it.
Definite celestial intervention there. I think
right.
the Celestials got involved. Wow.
Booty so big, word, Lord, have mercy.
I haven't been on in like 3 weeks, and I've been needing to talk about this.
I know. He's been holding it in for all this time. He's like, yo, we have to talk about it. It's the big question.
Time. Yes.
There's no bigger question than Judy's booty.
I got the biggest question. That's right. The question is, can I clap those cheeks with a gavel? All right. Cut. Leave this all in.
All right, Tommy. Hit me with that big question.
You got it. With the recent events of Marvel's What If and the upcoming release of the Eternals, I'm starting to wonder more and more about these giant space gods in the MCU. Who's really in charge when I pray to the star-filled sky at night? That leads us to this week's big question. Who is the more powerful force in the universe? The Watchers or the Celestials?
That is a great question, Tommy. Really great question. Well, let's first clarify what each entity is, and then we can discuss the differences of their powers and the rules that they live by, because, you know, two different groups here, two different groups of friends doing different religion stuff. But yes, we'll begin with the ones who sit idly by as we primitive life forms keep ruining multiverse after multiverse. And I am, of course, talking about the Watchers, those interdimensional cable watching son of a bitches. Watching us as entertainment. Disgusting. Just kidding. Big head gang. They're our cousins.
Bang, big head gang. Their heads, even the mammoth quality hat couldn't fit on their heads.
Oh, nice plug. I dig it.
Not an official sponsor of New Rockstars, but an official sponsor of my heart.
No, I heard Kevin Feige confirm that everybody with a big head is a descendant of the Watchers.
That's true.
That's a really fun fact. That's my head canon, my big head canon.
Hey.
Big head canon.
That's right.
But all right, the Watchers. The Watchers are one of the oldest species in the universe, and they are often depicted as large beings with big, bald heads, big head gang, and pupilless, glowing white eyes, which is kind of creepy. The true name of the species has long since been forgotten, so people just call them the Watchers since that's what they mostly do. Sit by and watch the actions across the multiverses without interfering. Of course, they first appeared in Marvel Comics back in 1961 in Fantastic Four number 13. And there, Marvel's first family first came into contact with a Watcher named Uatu, and he's the most well-known of the Watchers, and of course, was recently featured in What If? And the MCU also features Stan Lee talking to some of the Watchers in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And I love that Easter egg. I've been waiting for them to do something with the Watchers ever since that scene. I'm sure everybody has. And so it's been really satisfying to see the Watcher kick some booty.
Yeah.
Some robo booty. And the Watchers just sit back and watch because of an event that occurred billions of years ago. And that was when the highly technologically advanced Watchers decided to help out some of the less advanced races in the universe. And they gave a species known as the Prosilicans the gift of atomic energy. However, the Prosilicans, I know about the Prosilicans, but like I had the pronunciation of their names in the back of my head. So when I first read it, I just pulled it from like the deep recesses of my head.
A lot of S's and L's. Prosilicans.
Prosilicans. I feel like that's in Italy.
Hey, the Prosilican. You know, my grandfather was Prosilican, and he used to work for the mob, if you know what I'm saying.
The Prosilican mob?
He painted houses for the Prosilicans.
Yo, they got atomic bombs, bro. They got atomic energy.
It's right.
Give it to them by the Watchers, so they don't mess around. The Prosilicans would end up making a bunch of weapons and having a genocidal war. So the Watchers were like, well, we're just never going to do that again. Whoops. We wiped out an entire planet. Our bad.
That was their bad, though, to be fair.
It really was.
That was pretty
and so ever since then, they decided to never interfere. The Watchers are cosmic beings, so on a power level, they are pretty freaking insane, and they can manipulate the universe on a molecular level, as well as mess with time and space. So basically anything that they want to make happen, they can make it happen. And they're also considered omnipotent, meaning that they can not only observe any and all beings in the multiverse, but they can hear their thoughts as well.
And if you have some omnipotency that lasts more than 3 hours, you should definitely consult a doctor.
And of course, let's not forget, they can speak directly to us, the observer. Big time powerful. And I always find it really creepy whenever like fictional characters look at the camera and just like, hello, you, I'm talking to you. And I'm speaking specifically to, I think the ending of Assassin's Creed 2 or something like that, where like, I think like this god Athena looks directly at the camera and she's like, oh no, I'm not looking at you, main character, I'm looking at the player.
Our words are not meant for you.
What are you talking about?
Listen.
I was like, I was alone in my basement at like 2 a.m. when that was happening. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep. This is very uncomfortable. Anyways, let's move on over to Celestials. Because much like the Watchers, they are also a cosmic extraterrestrial species. And they're created at the very beginning of the universe and are responsible for creating and spreading life across the cosmos. But unlike the Watchers, they are very interested in interfering with the lives and actions of species throughout the galaxy. And they are also the reason for the creation of the multiverse. And they made their debut in Eternals #1 in 1976. And the Celestials usually appear as huge humanoid creatures covered in brightly colored armor. And a lot of people like to mistake them for robots, but they're definitely not robots. Like, let's say Ant-Man shrunk down to like the microbiome and like he was just huge, these little tiny microscopic creatures. Or if Ant-Man went super big, like that's probably a better example. He looks like I don't know what that man is. He's like, oh, that looks like a weird alien man. So it's just like a matter of perspective. Anyway.
I mean, Star-Lord with his Star-Lord mask kind of looks like a robot.
Literally, and I think that was intentional because he is a Celestial himself. So like, I think that was a piece of fortune. I like that you picked that up. I love that you picked that up because like, that's technically what he would probably look like if he was a large Celestial. He'd probably go with that scheme. And of course, we had a little peek of them in Guardians of the Galaxy and the trailers for Eternals. Celestials are obsessed with evolution and often encourage and observe it through the creation of life forms as well as their eternal and deviant counterparts. And like the Watchers, the Celestials are immensely powerful. They have immeasurable cosmic and supernatural powers and also appear to operate beyond the standard space-time continuum, which is really pesky and annoying. I mean, if I could get out of the space-time continuum, I would. I totally would.
I'd love to.
It's very annoying. And they're also considered to be near omnipotent beings, if not fully omnipotent. While they are very powerful, we know that they can be killed or at least die. And in the MCU, we've seen the skull of a former Celestial as the location Nowhere, where, you know, where the Collector likes to do his illegal things. And also, the bomb planted inside the planet Ego was maybe able to kill him? I don't know. I feel like Ego is not 100% dead because of the circumstances of his death. Because you got to remember that they did use those sovereign batteries, which were this weird interdimensional energy that attracted these squid-like creatures that were coming through the portal that we may have seen in Shang-Chi. I think that these those squid creatures are related. So I think that these Annulax batteries that the Sovereign are messing with probably has some type of interdimensional energy that preserved Ego's life. And also in the comics, a fully fed Galactus was powerful enough to take out a Celestial because, you know, he had his protein. You know, you gotta be fully fed.
Yeah.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Don't skip it.
That's right. Part of a complete breakfast, Celestials.
You gotta do it Gary's way or else you're not really powered up, all right?
How about some breakfast? The most important meal of the day. Serving it up Gary's way. Pop! Enjoy, buddy.
SpongeBob. All right. All right, so let's get into the rules. So, both the Celestials and the Watchers are immensely powerful and ancient extraterrestrial cosmic beings. And because of their immortal and omnipotent nature, it's difficult to say why they do what they do. But it's clear that they do obey some sort of rules. And as mentioned before, the Watchers sort of implemented their own self-governed rule of no interference after some really bad experiences in the past. And they set up their own code and appear to only be there to record the events of the universe for whomever comes around after the universe ends. And when Uatu interfered in the comics, he was put on trial by the very Watchers themselves, his own brothers. And the Celestials also seem to operate by their own set of rules, and no one really is sure of the reasonings and logic behind what the Celestials do. Marvel has purposely kept the Celestials vague for this entire time that they've been around. They were created by the first firmament, which was essentially the sentient universe at the very beginning of creation, and they are fueled by the desire to create life and promote evolution and mutation of that life so that it would eventually produce its own superior cosmic beings with the power to create universes. And both the Watchers and the Celestials are likely more powerful than organizations like the TVA, and probably beyond what Kang can control through his sacred timeline. And it has been established in the comics that both the Celestials and the Watchers serve a being known as the Fulcrum. And the Fulcrum is an all-powerful, all-knowing cosmic force that has been theorized to be part of the One Above All, and / Jack Kirby, which is, what Marvel likes to do. They like to put Jack Kirby in their artists as the big cosmic beings. So both the Watchers and the Celestials serve something, but we may never see what it is in the MCU. Let's get to the point of the matter. Who is more powerful, the Watchers or the Celestials? Well, it's been revealed in the comics that the Celestials and the Watchers have been at conflict for billions of years, mainly because their goals are completely opposite. I know it sounds weird that the Celestials and Watchers were being in a fight, but hold on. The Watchers don't want to interfere, and all the Celestials do is want to interfere. So there's a sort of animosity there. But because of the standoff philosophy of the Watchers, this long conflict has been pretty silent. It's been sort of I hate you for interfering with everything and messing with humanity and all this stuff, but I ain't gonna do shit because I'm just gonna watch. Because I really messed up last time. I can't say shit.
Just watch.
I'm just gonna watch. I'm
just gonna watch.
Just gonna watch with a
It's like my marriage. I just watch.
I really love how the Watchers are just silently resenting.
They're the cuckolds of the universe.
Since the Watchers won't interfere, there's no actual fighting between the two cosmic entities occurring. And that's why it's also hard to say who is more powerful, because since the Watchers rarely demonstrate their power, it's really hard to compare it to the Celestials' power. But we did see Uatu take on Ultron with all 6 Infinity Stones, items that made him probably more powerful than a Celestial. And also, there is an instance in the comics of Celestials enslaving Watchers to be guardians of unborn Celestials. But that is from an alternate reality comic storyline, and usually in alternate realities, they take more liberties with the laws of the universe and what's possible, so you can't really say that that is canon. What do you think is more powerful, Tommy?
I think that there is great power in restraint. And I think Celestials are more impulsive and more prone to making themselves vulnerable, whereas the Watchers' power lies in their consistency, their refusal to interfere, and their discipline, their self-discipline. I believe if it came down to a 1v1 conflict, the Watchers would win.
Okay. You know what? I'm inclined to agree with you, Tommy, because the Watchers do have this purview or this ability to observe multiple universes, whereas the Celestials, they seem to operate on, as far as we know, one individual universe, their native universe.
Right.
And so, there's different versions of Watchers throughout different universes that have different goals and they have different ways of even being born. So I think that because the Watchers are able to observe all these different Celestials all from these different realities, that the Watchers definitely have some type of one-up. And we just saw Uatu give Ultron a run for his money in What If. He made Ultron sweat, even though Ultron did kick his ass, but he made him sweat.
Yep.
He made a robot sweat. And that's impossible.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard.
I haven't seen a robot sweat since my ex-wife.
Oh, got him. Oh, my God. Absolutely.
She was a cold woman. She was a cold steel woman.
Well, there you have it. We'll have to wait and see how the Celestials are further expanded upon in the upcoming Eternals film, which is sure to be a literal masterpiece. Chloe Zhao is going to knock it out of the park. And hopefully we'll be getting more action from the Watchers in the MCU soon. I need to see it. I want to see Uatu represent the big head gang. I need someone to cosplay, okay? With this big melon, I can't fit my head in most Power Rangers helmets. I need something. Give me something. But before we continue, our merch partners at Epic Hero Shop have all kinds of cool clothing and gear inspired by your favorite properties. Grab a t-shirt inspired by Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, and ride your bike around the neighborhood, getting nods of approval from all the other cool nerds in your area. There's a lot of cool nerds and hot single moms in your area, so just get on that bike with that shirt, and you'll be getting all of them. All their attention. Grabbing something from NewRockstarsMerch.com is an awesome way to support this channel and to show the world your love for your favorite fandom. And before we dive into our bite-sized questions next, some words from the people that help bring us Big Question to you. People like Blender's Eyewear. Fresh from San Diego, California, comes Blender's Eyewear, the only sunglasses brand you're ever going to wear again. Around New Rockstars, we got some pairs of the Moondog and Black Jacket styles, and everyone loves how great they look and how sturdy and comfortable they feel. They're really cool glasses. And the cool thing about these models is that they're great to wear both to the beach and just around town running errands, because you gotta look cool running errands. I mean, are you done with those errands, Squidward? Oh, no, I'm not, because I'm wearing these glasses. Chase Fisher was a surf instructor who started Blenders by selling his beachy shades out of a backpack, and his goal was to create a cool, adventurous, mid-priced eyewear option. And Blenders are actually affordable, so you're not going to cry as much when the inevitable happens and you lose or smash them. Blenders' in-house designers are constantly coming out with new styles, from orange polarized wraparounds, tortoise shell frames with purpled lenses, to classic gold arms on black lens. And Blenders also has prescription glasses, readers, and blue lights, as well as a snow collection with goggles and accessories. So live life in forward motion with Blenders today. To score 15% off your Blenders purchase, visit blenderseyewear.com and enter promo code BigQuestionVIP. That is blenderseyewear.com, code BigQuestionVIP for 15% off. Blenders, rocked with pride worldwide.
MT, I know what you're always telling me. Work collaboration tools are created equal. But you're wrong. Yes. Not all work collaboration tools are created equal. Notion is the one tool for your whole team to do it all. Notion is an all-in-one team collaboration tool that combines note-taking, document sharing, wikis, project management, and much more into one space that's simple, powerful, and beautifully designed, just like me,
just
baby.
Like you too. Oh yeah. My God!
Yeah. Woo! Group mind.
We were so in sync. That was amazing.
He's got a body like a goddess. Okay. 4, startups. Notions can provide a full-on operating system for running every aspect of your company, keeping everyone aligned as you grow fast and take on more. They'll even restock your Keurig for you. That's not true. You will have to hire an office assistant to do that. We do not guarantee that with Notion. With powerful integrations and seamless navigation, you'll have everything you need in one spot so you can move fast without the silos and other hurdles that slow companies down. Let me tell you, I knew a company that was running into a lot of hurdles. They're called Enron. They're gone. Google them. Notion has a worldwide network of millions of users and is getting better all the time, just like me. Find out how Notion may be the missing piece your startup needs to grow, get more done, and delight your team in the process. Like a good ice cream cone, Notion will delight your team. Are you interested? Well, you better be, you jabronis.
One ice cream cone per team.
Everybody gets a lick, and everybody gets sick.
We're all sharing the ice cream cone.
You lick, you get sick. That's how you do it at Tomco. All right. Interested? You better be. Want to find out more? Notion is running a special offer just for startups. Get up to $1,000 off Notion's team plan by going to notion.com/startups. To give you a sense, that's almost a year of free Notion for a team of 10. Again, that's notion.com/startups to receive up to $1,000 in free credit to use Notion with your team. That's up to a $1,000 value when you go to notion.com/startups. Bam! I got a notion that you should do that.
All right, Tommy, I got a bite-sized question for you.
Let's get
Tommy,
it on. Yeah.
How heavy is Captain America's shield? And this is from IAJ Smith 24 on Discord, always holding it down. Thank you, IAJ Smith.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, it's none of your goddamn business what that is.
Exactly, IAJ Smith. Why are you always so nosy?
You don't ask your shield what it weighs. Just
right?
kidding, of course. Just like me, the shield is not shy about its weight as it fluctuates greatly from year to year. When looking to find out how much Captain America's shield weighs, we can turn to the official handbook of Marvel Universe Volume 1, number 15, which was released in May of 1984. I was released in November of 1983 from my mother's womb. It provides stats for Captain America's shield that claim it has a diameter 2.5 feet and weighs 12 pounds. Wow. That's a big baby.
Now look at the big baby. Wow.
Marvel lists the same stats on their own website, though they do have an editor's note on the page that says that information is crowdsourced and has not been verified for accuracy by the editors. But the crowdsourced info appears to come directly from Marvel themselves via the handbook. So I think we're okay taking this stat as canon. Seems simple enough, yeah? Well, not so fast.
Whoa, not so fast! My bad, that was a little hard.
After all, this stat does come from 1984. Heard of it? That was the year that the Detroit Tigers defeated the San Diego Padres in the World Series. So who knows if changes have been made in the Marvel Universe to the weight of the shield since then. In our research, we did find a Wired article from 2014 where they tried to figure out how much Captain America's shield weighed in the MCU based on physical properties displayed by the shield in the films. Rhett Allen, an associate professor of physics at the Southern Louisiana University, I'm going to guess Chanticleers? I have no idea. What's your school mascot? Call it Crawdads? Performed a series of calculations based on a clip from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, where Cap throws his shield at Bucky, who then catches it and throws it back at Cap. When Cap catches the return toss, he slides backwards, and this is where the complicated physics calculations come in, as if they weren't already complicated. I won't pretend to understand physics. I can barely read, and I took Math 1 3 different times in college. That's Math 1. That's the basic one. That's the one where they're like, do you remember how to add from high school? And I was like, no, I don't. But I am drinking 30 Milwaukee Bests a night, so anything that's going up here is coming out of here in the morning. I won't pretend, as I said. So we can link the article in the description below so you can check the math yourself. But based on things like the momentum and the weight of Cap, the friction of the ground, the velocity and density of the shield, Professor Elaine comes to the conclusion that the shield should weigh about 43.9 pounds. That's heavy. That's a lot. That's almost 4 times as heavy.
Damn, I would probably throw out my back trying to lift up that shield.
Yeah, that's a tough day. That's a big bag of sand.
Not as strong as Chris Evans.
No.
A big bag of sand.
Just like boobs feel like. Remember 40-year-old version?
You feel it, and it feels like a bag of sand when you're touching it.
I was thinking that too. I was going to make the joke, but I was like, maybe I should.
Now, the biggest hole in the calculation is the fictional material vibranium. It's hard to say how the density of this material would affect real-life calculations, but you've got to applaud a man for his big-brain approach to answering this question. So, depending on who you believe, the shield should weigh somewhere between 12 and 43.9 pounds, and that type of weight disparity could only be covered in beautiful Los Angeles, California, where lying about your weight is just as easy as breathing. You got another question for me?
I do. Thank you for that answer, Tommy.
Sure, my pleasure, my treasure.
Tommy, who are the Dark Avengers, and what would that team look like in the MCU? This is from Sheriff Deline on Discord. Thank you, Sheriff.
Evening, Sheriff. The Dark Avengers were formed not long after the events of the Secret Invasion storyline in Marvel Comics. The momentous comics event of Skrulls impersonating many important heroes, villains, and plain old side characters will soon play out in the MCU. So it's possible we could see the Dark Avengers come to the MCU a little bit sooner than you think. In the comics, Norman Osborn, heard of him, becomes the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., which he changes into Hammer, thus has to manage the government-sponsored Avengers. Predictably, a lot of the current Avengers don't want to work for the murderous psychopath Osborn, so he has to do a little bit of recruiting. Well, you know, I mean, he got stabbed in the dick with a glider, so they're like, I don't know, anybody that can have that happen to him doesn't seem like a reliable leader.
He only killed Gwen Stacy. It's fine.
And by the way, that was borderline, arguably an accident, okay?
Yeah,
so,
I mean, it was her spine, neck, who really knows?
Yeah, my neck, my spine. I should be feeling fine, but I'm not, I'm dead. All right, he has to turn to his old pals at the Thunderbolts to find a few recruits. The Matt Gargan version of Denham dresses up as Spider-Man. Moonstone dresses up as Miss Marvel. Bullseye dresses up as Hawkeye, which to me, that is something I'm interested in. Osborn also recruits Daken, Wolverine's son, and puts him in one of Wolverine's old costumes. He also recruits Novar, a Kree warrior who takes the mantle of Captain Marvel. Current Avengers Sentry and Ares stay on the team because they can't be bothered to make waves. I like that. A couple of good soldiers that are like, we don't really want to change offices. And finally, Osborn himself puts on some of Stark's armor and becomes the Iron Patriot, which I have theorized might be coming to our screens in a few of the new MCU TV shows. So if that happens, I'll be giving myself a couple big pats on the back.
I'll be giving you a pat on the back as well, because I hope so too.
Yeah. The Dark Avengers is mostly a cosplay of traditional Avengers, and much like Thunderbolts, their methods of justice are slightly vicious and dishonorable, like me. But what would a current lineup of Dark Avengers look like in the MCU? Probably a lot like the team Val seems to be putting together. You could have U.S. Agent John Walker as Captain America, Yelena Belova as Black Widow, Abomination as your Hulk replacement, Agatha Harkness could be your Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch replacement, White Vision as Vision, Taskmaster has already shown that she could be a replacement for Hawkeye.
True.
And, a fun replacement for Thor could be good old Hela, assuming she's still alive out there somewhere. And God, I hope she is, because she's fine.
I hope so too.
And when it comes to replacing Iron Man, as long as you could get your hands on one of Tony's suits, or even an old War Machine suit, you could throw any loyal soldier in there and they could be Iron Man. It might be fun to see Justin Hammer brought out of prison to control one of those suits. He'd be thrilled about that, or even talk Zemo into taking over one of the mechanized suits and becoming the Iron Baron. Whoa.
Bro, I am so glad that you brought up the Justin Hammer thing. Bro, I would love to see Justin Hammer as an Iron Man, and I've been wanting this for so long. I've been wanting Marvel Studios to make a show called The Irredeemable Iron Man for Disney Plus, where it's just Justin Hammer trying to be Iron Man. Oh my God, that would be so great.
That would be wonderful.
Please. Oh my God.
We need that.
But
that's a great call.
Thank you, Tommy. Amazing answers.
And thank you to everyone who asks bite-sized questions, because that's about all I have the bandwidth for.
I just want to shout out to everybody on Discord, because you guys are holding it down. We see you. We love you guys. So if you want to join our Discord, go ahead and join us. We love you. But it is now time for our box of scraps. It's a box of scraps.
It's a box of scraps.
Box of scraps.
It's a box of scraps.
Get this damn box of scraps off of my lawn. I don't know what that was.
Here's a big old box of scraps.
Now, Tommy, if you had the power to create your own planet, how would you make that planet into the most wonderful place in the universe?
Ooh, wow. That is a great question. There's lots of freshwater lakes with no sea creatures to harm us. Just docile perch and bass swimming to and fro. Log cabins everywhere for people to enjoy a serene cup of coffee. And everyone has a healthy relationship with no toxic traits, no gaslighting, no being led to think that you're too nice or too mean or not mean enough or not nice enough. Everyone's romantic partner is wired to be simpatico with them. And then, of course, there's the mountains. The mountains made of ice cream. Rocky Road ice cream.
The ice cream mountains.
And the rivers flowing like chocolate. Basically, Willy Wonka's factory is my ideal planet. And what about you, MT? How would you make the most wonderful place?
That honestly sounds like the most wonderful place right there. Are you kidding me? An ice cream mountain? Is that what you said? Ice cream mountain?
Ice cream mountain, chocolate rivers. If you want to view paradise.
Bro, I'm getting diabetes at the summit, my friend. I'm getting diabetes.
Yes. Oh, and there's no diabetes. There's
no diabetes on the planet. Diabetes outlawed.
And due to a different type of gravity, everyone's bodies are stretched out to 6'4", 180-pound gorgeous frames.
Wow.
Anyway,
I think my preferred planet is honestly a planet full of women. Not because I want a planet full of women to myself, because honestly, well, I don't know. That'd be a lot of responsibility. I couldn't do that. But because women are just great, and I love women. And today is actually the day of the girl as we're filming this. So I just think that a world full of women would just be really cool. I don't know. And the show Why the Last Man is a show based on a comic book written by Brian K. Vaughan. And it goes into the whole scenario of what would happen if all the men in the world died.
Mm.
And if you haven't read that comic series, you really have to. It's one of my favorites ever.
It's really good.
But it's just really interesting, just to see how much men have sort of fucked things up in our society. Not a controversial statement. It's very obvious.
You know,
but yes.
I like your all-female planet, because over on Planet Tommy, it's a boys' club. It's boys only. No girls allowed.
Testosteronia, my favorite planet.
That's right. The testosterone system.
Well, that is it for this episode of Big Question. I, of course, want to thank my big head gang brother Tommy for joining me on this episode. Please follow Tommy at Tommy Bechtold on Twitter. He's an amazing man with an amazing heart and personality, and he's freaking hilarious, so please follow Tommy on Twitter. And of course, follow me at MasterTainment if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. But most importantly, follow New Rockstars wherever we are, especially here on YouTube. And when you do on YouTube, hit that notification bell so you can get notifications whenever we upload videos. But that is it. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.